You come home after the worst day of your life. Nobody texted to check on you. Nobody noticed you were falling apart. You held it together all day because that's what you do. You survive, you smile, you pretend you're fine. And then you open the door, and there they are, tail wagging, eyes bright. Like you're the single best thing that's ever happened to them. Like your presence alone is enough to make their entire world make sense. They don't ask what's wrong. They don't need you to explain. They just come to you, press against your leg, rest their head on your lap. And for the first time all day, you can breathe. Because this is the only love that's never let you down. People have conditions. People have limits. People love you until it gets hard, until you're too much, until someone better comes along. But your pet, they've seen you at your absolute worst and loved you more for it. They've seen you cry at 3 a.m. They've seen you unwashed, unfiltered, completely broken. And they didn't leave. They didn't judge. They just stayed. And somewhere along the way, you realize something you've been too afraid to say out loud. You trust them more than you've ever trusted a human being. This isn't about being antisocial. It's not about hating people. It's about learning that the safest love you've ever known doesn't speak your language, and grieving what that says about every person who did. Let's begin. You don't remember the exact day your pet stopped being just a pet, but you remember the feeling. It was probably after someone hurt you, after a friend disappeared when you needed them most, after a partner left and you realized you'd given everything to someone who gave you back nothing. You were alone. Really alone. The kind of alone that makes you question if anyone actually sees you, and then you look down, and there they were, looking at you like you hung the moon, like your pain didn't make you less, like being broken didn't make you unworthy of love. And something cracked open inside you because people have made you feel small, forgettable, conditional, like their love was something you had to earn, maintain, prove you deserved every single day. But your pet didn't operate like that. They didn't love you because you were successful or funny or made their life easier. They loved you because you existed, because you were you. And that was enough. That's when it started. The slow shift where your pet became more than an animal. They became your proof. Proof that you were capable of being loved without performing, without pretending, without breaking yourself into pieces that were easier for people to swallow. Your pet became the mirror that reflected the truth people couldn't see, that you were always enough. Here's the truth you don't say at dinner parties. People terrify you. Not obviously. You're not a hermit. You have friends, you socialize, you function, but underneath, every human relationship feels like waiting for the other shoe to drop, because people are unpredictable. They say, "I'll always be here," and then they're gone. They say, "You can tell me anything," and then use your vulnerability against you. You've learned that people's love comes with fine print, with expiration dates, with clauses that kick in the moment you're no longer convenient, and you're tired. Tired of translating yourself to be understood. Tired of managing other people's emotions while yours get ignored. Tired of being told you're too sensitive when you react to being hurt. But your pet doesn't do any of that. Your pet can't gaslight you, can't make you question your reality, can't tell you they love you and then prove with their actions that they don't. With your pet, what you see is what you get. Their love is no passive aggression, no wondering if they secretly resent you. And after years of people proving they'll hurt you eventually, your pet proved they won't, so you stopped gambling on people. Because the one sure thing you have is already sleeping at your feet. Your pet has seen you in ways no person ever has. They've seen you sobbing on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m. They've seen you during panic attacks when you couldn't breathe. They've seen you on the days you couldn't get out of bed, couldn't shower, couldn't pretend to be okay. And they didn't flinch. They didn't tell you to think positive. They didn't get uncomfortable with your pain and change the subject. They didn't slowly distance themselves because your sadness was too heavy. They just climbed into your lap, rested their weight against you, breathed with you. That's the thing about your pet. They don't need you to be healed to love you. They don't need you to have your life together. They don't need the best version of you. They love the version of you that exists right now, messy and broken and barely holding on, because people always want you to be better, happier, less needy, more put together. They love you, sure, but they love the idea of who you could be, more than who you actually are. Your pet doesn't have an idea of who you should be. They just know who you are. And it's enough. They don't keep a running tally of your bad days. Don't sigh when you're struggling again. Don't look at you with disappointment when you're not fixed yet. They just love you, exactly as you are, and all your beautiful, broken, imperfect humanity. And maybe that's why you tell them things you've never told anyone else, why you cry into their fur, why their presence feels like the only thing tethering you to this world. People think that loving your pet means you're not lonely. They're wrong. You're lonely, deeply lonely, but not in the way they think. Your pet can't have deep conversations with you, can't understand your fears about the future, can't give you advice or the complex emotional support that comes from someone who speaks your language, and you know that. You feel the absence of it. But here's what people don't understand: the loneliness of having your pet as your closest relationship is still better than the loneliness you felt surrounded by people. The loneliness of sitting across from someone and realizing they don't actually see you. The loneliness of sharing your life with someone who treats your feelings like an inconvenience. The loneliness of being loved by someone who only loves the parts of you that are easy. That loneliness was suffocating. It made you feel invisible even when you were seen. At least with your pet, the loneliness is honest. They can't give you everything, but what they do give you is real, pure, uncomplicated. They notice when you're sad. They respond to your emotions without making them about themselves. They choose to be near you, consistently, without you having to beg for their attention. And maybe that simple, limited love is better than the complex, conditional love that people offer and then retract the moment you need it most. You're lonely, but you're safe. And after everything you've survived, safe matters more than understood. Every time you look at them, you're aware of something most people don't think about. This ends soon, too soon. You know the statistics. You know their lifespan. You do the math in your head late at night and your chest tightens because you're running out of time with the only thing that's ever loved you, right? And the grief is already there. Not in the future, no. You grieve them while you love them. You take extra photos. You memorize the way they sigh when they settle next to you. You notice the gray hairs appearing on their face and your throat closes because those are markers of time you're losing. You think about the day you'll come home and they won't be at the door. The silence that will fill the space where their presence used to be. The weight of a grief so consuming you don't know if you'll survive it. And here's the cruelest part. You chose this. You chose to love something that will destroy you when it's gone. You chose temporary safety over the possibility of lasting human connection. Because even knowing how this ends, even knowing that losing them will break you in ways you can't come back from, the years you get with them are worth it. They've given you something people never could. Proof that you're worthy of unconditional love. Evidence that you can be someone's whole world just by existing. And when they're gone, you'll have to decide, do you risk people again? Or do you get another pet and restart the timer on your heartbreak? You don't know. You just know that right now they're here. And you're holding on to every second like it's the last one. Your pet taught you something people never did, that you are enough. Not the version of you that tries harder. Not the version that's healed or successful or put together. Not the version that makes yourself smaller so others feel bigger. Just you, exactly as you are. People made you believe that love was something you earned. That you had to be good enough, interesting enough, stable enough to deserve it. Your pet shattered that lie. They don't care about your job, your appearance, your achievements, your failures, your past, your mistakes. They care that you're here, that you exist. That's it. And in their eyes, you see a reflection you've never seen in a human's gaze. Complete acceptance, no judgment, no disappointment, no wish for you to be something else. Just love. Simple, pure, uncomplicated love for exactly who you are in this moment. And maybe that's why losing them will hurt so much. Because they gave you something so rare you didn't even know it existed until you had it. They gave you a safe place to be yourself. A relationship where you don't have to translate your emotions or defend your existence. A love that doesn't ask for anything except your presence. People will say, it's just a pet. People will never understand. But you know the truth. It was never just anything. It was the first time you felt truly seen, truly accepted, truly loved. And that's not something you replace. That's something you carry forever. If this made you hold your pet a little tighter, if you felt seen in ways you didn't expect, you're not alone. Loving your pet more than people isn't a failure. It's a response to a world that taught you people aren't safe. This is a space where that's understood. If you'd like to stay, consider subscribing. And if you want to share your pet's name, what they've given you, what they mean to you, the comments are yours. Thank you for being here. And thank you for loving something so deeply, even knowing it won't last forever. That's the bravest thing you'll ever do.